In every networking scenario, whether it is just browsing through the internet or sending messages using our favorite social media apps, or it could be downloading applications to our phones, goal always remains the same: to send data from one device to another. To understand how networking works, we have to dive deep and elaborate on what a networking model is. Networking model, sometimes also referred to as networking blueprint or networking architecture, is basically set of comprehensive documents. Each document explains one small function required for a network to work. Collectively, these documents describe everything that should be happening for a computer network to work, basically. So documents could either describe protocols or physical requirements. Let's start with protocols. Protocols are basically set of rules and standards that computers follow to communicate. And physical requirements just mean voltages and current levels that should be allowed to pass on specific cabling and wiring. Uh, we can think of a similar analogy like building a house. We could build house on our own without any architectural blueprint, but having an architectural blueprint guarantees that the house has correct foundation, that it will not fall off. It also ensures that house has correct spacing for plumbing, electricity, gas, etc. Also, it's worth noting that each worker, such as framer, electrician, plumber, painter, whatever, they ensure that their jobs accomplished by them does not cause problems to other workers. For example, framer should take into account how electrician likes things to be arranged, etc., etc. Basically, they should not overlap in a manner that causes problems to other workers. So let's start with TCP/IP now. TCP/IP is the most common and the most dominant and currently used networking model that is well established already. So we do not have to reinvent the wheel. So before TCP/IP existed, there were different networking models. Basically, each vendor created their own networking model, and every time you would buy computer from a specific vendor, it would come with its own networking model. So the problem was, if you were to buy computers from three different vendors, you would have to create a networking environment that would align with all three separately and then somehow connect them. So it was really complex and hard work because all different vendors basically had their own networking models. To somehow overcome this problem, International Organization for Standardization came up with ISO, which was the OSI, pardon, OSI, and it had one noble goal: to create networking model that would be used across every computer on the planet, basically. So every time you would buy a computer, it would align with OSI model and it would not interfere and would not be problematic to connect with computer from another vendor, basically. So back in the day, this OSI model was used at times, but it shortly fell off because it was standard first and code second approach that was used. Shortly after, U.S. Department of Defense came up with its own networking model, and researchers from various universities, they helped to develop this networking model, which today we call TCP/IP model. And TCP/IP model is the most, as we already mentioned, most commonly used and well-established networking and architectural blueprint for creating a networking model.